मेरा नाम मणिदीपा गुप्ता है। मैं नांदनिक थिएटर ग्रुप कोरापुट के तरफ से आपको वेलकम करती हूँ और आपको प्रणाम करती हूँ। जो हम जैसे ऐसे छोटे से जगह का छोटे के ग्रुप हम लोग बुलाने से आप राजी हो गए, इसलिए बहुत बहुत थैंक यू। और हमारा ग्रुप बहुत ही छोटा है। हम लोग 2014 में ग्रुप स्टार्ट किए। ये एक ट्राइबल बेल्ट है। हम लोग कोशिश किए हर वक्त इधर ट्राइबल जो पीपल है उन लोगों को लेके, उन लोगों को कल्चर को लेके कुछ एक्टिविटी करने के लिए। हम लोग अभी तक 10-11 नाटक कर चुके हैं ओडिया लिटरेचर एंड क्लासिक थिएटर के ऊपर। और हम लोग साल भर सेमिनार, वर्कशॉप ये सब करते रहते हैं, ये जगह के लोगों को थिएटर के ऊपर थोड़ा अवेयर करने के लिए। तो ये हमारा एक छोटा सा कोशिश है जो अभी हम लोग 6th ईयर में आ गए और हम लोग का नसीब बहुत ही अच्छा है जो आप हमारे बुलाने से आ गए। और थैंक यू मैम। और अभी मैं हमारा डायरेक्टर नांदनिका सौरभ गुप्ता सर को बोल रही हूँ, प्लीज वो ये प्रोग्राम को स्टार्ट करें। वो हमारे ये प्रोग्राम का मॉडरेटर है। सौरभ जी प्लीज स्टार्ट। नमस्ते।
Thank you, Manideepa ji. To start today's program, which is the sixth Foundation Day lecture of Nandini, a theatre group based in Koraput, Odisha, I would first introduce our today's guest who is going to deliver the lecture. I'll start off with two quotations. The first quotation is written by the living legend herself. I read out within quotes. Well, they were kidsky and teenage. I was slowly moving away from a sequestered life. I had long thought stoking conversations with my grandfather, unstitching history, literature, and philosophy. There were also intimate bondings with friends, with all the cloying sentimentality of adolescence. I remember writing letters filled with anecdotes to two of them, Asha Nanavati and Soni Bagai. And a third was my Spanish friend Bettina de Almeida, an aspiring dancer with whom I went sari hopping, buying plush pinks, shades of orange, fiery reds with jewel toned Kanjivaram borders for performances. I was already steeped in the arts, hence, time was a precious resource infused with a sense of purpose. Dance was my gateway to adulthood. The next quotation, a few years later, a press report in Belgium, a commentator wrote, on the occasion of the India Week recently organized in the capital by the Amities India Luxembourg, the organizers invited the interested persons to a unique and beautiful dancing performance. The charming 23-year-old Indian dancer Sonal Mansingh caused bursts of applause with her first class choreographic performance before a large audience. The young Indian dancer, who has danced since the age of 7 under the guidance of foremost teachers, can undoubtedly be counted among the most important ballerinas in the world. Her pantomime and poise captivated the audience by over average expressiveness and precision and by manifestation of the most diverse feelings. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. I have the honor and privilege to introduce one of the living legends of India, Dr. Sonal Mansingh, Padma Vibhushan Guru Dr. Sonal Mansingh, born on 30th April 1944, is a living legend and the best known contemporary Indian classical dancer in the world and the foremost international performer and scholar. Dr. Sonal Mansingh was nominated by President of India to Rajya Sabha, the upper house of Indian Parliament, in July 2018 in recognition of her lifelong dedication and service to India's arts. She is the recipient of Padma Vibhushan in 2003 from Sri APJ Abdul Kalam and Padma Bhushan in 1992 from Sri R. Venkataraman. Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, nominated her as a Navaratna for Swachh Bharat Mission. Her unique contribution has been her lifelong work using her knowledge to address socio cultural issues through the chosen medium of dance, as a soloist, teacher, choreographer, and motivational speaker. As the founder president of Sri Kamakhya Kalapeeth Center for Indian Classical Dances, established in 1977 at Delhi, she has trained several hundred talented students who are carrying the message of Indian culture globally. She teaches the art as holistic concept combining music, yoga, Sanskrit and cultural traditions of India. To mark the completion of her 40 years in dancing in 2002, noted Hindi film director Prakash Jha made a documentary film on her titled Sonal, which also won the National Film Award for Best Non-Feature Film for the year. She has been featured in several television shows all across the world and widely covered by the press internationally. There are a sizable number of books on her works and by her, like Sonal Mansingh, A Life Like No Other by Sujata Prasad, and Classical Dances of the Incredible India series. Ma'am, thank you very much for joining us. And now, without wasting any more time, I would request you to kindly deliver the lecture titled Abhinaya and Avivyakti in Dance. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Namaskar. Namaskar to you and through you to all the viewers, all the Rasikas. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm not going to deliver a lecture, I'm just going to share my thoughts and try to reach out to as many of you as possible because each one understands or views the art in a different way. It is the same abhinaya, the same rasa, the same bhava, or the same rag yaman sung by Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, the same rag yaman sung by Vidushi Kishori Amonkar, the same rag yaman, all sound different. So the art of dance or abhinaya, which depicts a particular character, episode, prasanga, patra, they can be depicted in 1,000 different ways by various people. So this is the beauty of Indian art of dance. And now I talk about the Shastriya Vidha, because I had the opportunity to dance in Koraput, to dance in the Koraput festival many years ago. And I remember flying into Visakhapatnam and from the airport by road and then hitting the hills and the mountains of western Orissa and to Koraput. And there's this annual festival Mela started. I now forget the name of the lady collector, the DM. She was very enthusiastic, and her husband was DM collector of the next district. Shubham or someone, I forget now. Anyway, so I remember that I bought dozens of Koraput stoles and saris. And I danced Mangala Charana and Pallavi in Odissi and Dashavatara. And then it had started drizzling. So the open air stage was quite slippery and I had to do the namaskar. But the audience was not moving. They said, "We don't mind, we are sitting, we want to watch you." But I said, "What about me? If I slip and break my leg, who's going to look after me?" So I stood and did some abhinaya. I remember I stood and did some abhinaya. So that was my wonderful experience of Koraput. And I'm very happy and I congratulate you for taking the wonderful experience of art, of drama, of dance, music to Koraput. My topic is Abhinaya through Abhivyakti. Both words, abhinaya and abhivyakti, have the prefix abhi. The prefix abhi, not like in Urdu abhi, it does not mean now. This is the Sanskrit. So in Sanskrit, the prefix means giving a direction. It means towards. And usually it means forward. You are not going backward anywhere, you are going forward. So abhinaya. Naya comes from the root ni. Ni nayati, to carry, to take, to communicate. So abhinaya simply means to convey, to communicate, to express something. And abhivyakti. Now, vyakti is actually not here a person, but it is to express. So abhivyakti becomes your individual expression of whatever you are thinking, whatever you wish to say, whatever you wish to convey, whatever you wish to show. And here I cannot help but put a little a little kataksha, a little vyangya, that these days we hear a lot of narebazi. Abhivyakti ki azadi, abhivyakti ki azadi. In the political arena, there's a lot of this sloganeering going on, that freedom of expression, freedom of speech. And the same abhivyakti in dance abhinaya can become so beautiful, so meaningful, and almost divine. So what is the difference? What is the difference? Let us go and try to understand the background of abhinaya. There can be hundreds of definitions and explanations. Very simply put, the opening shloka of Abhinaya Darpana. Angikam bhuvanam yasya vachikam sarvamangmayam aharyam chandra taradi tam numas satvikam shivam. So the four kinds of abhinaya are spelled out in a very beautiful way. Angikam, that is the anga means the body, the various limbs of the body. So communication through the body, through your postures, walks, sitting, standing, whatever you can express through the body. Even a gesture like that can mean a lot. So angikam bhuvanam yasya, this is the cosmic expression of abhinaya. The Indian mind does not confine itself to always mini and at a mundane level. The Indian mind always rises and takes it to the mega level and connects everything parallelly to Adi Bhautik, to Paralaukik, to Alaukik. So Angikam Bhuvanam Yasya. Bhuvana is not just the world. Bhuvana Bhu Bhavati iti Bhuvanam. So all the manifested creation is Bhuvan. Vachikam Sarvavangmayam. And the Vachika Abhinaya, which is the mainstay of drama,
Yes.
Natak. There, the actors and the actresses, they have to speak, sometimes sing also. But Natak, as Natak was understood with the influence of the Western world, was mainly Vachika, words. But with the timbre, tone, tenor, spaces between the words, the up and down, actor could convey a lot. For dance, the Vachika is done by the musician, by the vocalist. And it depends entirely on the skill, training, understanding of the vocalist, how he or she sing and bring different bhavas into their singing according to the dancer. So Vachika in Nataka is different. Vachika for dance, Shastriya Nritya is different. Aharyam Chandrata, and Vachikam Sarva Vangmayam, yes. Vangmaya is actually literature, but every sound in the Antariksha also, in space as well as in our immediate hearing, everything is Vachika Vinaya. The birds chirping, the peacock calling, the elephant, the breeze passing through the bamboos that you can hear in Koraput jungles, and of which Krishna made the Bansuri, and the sound of the gadgadahati of the badal, the thunderclaps, which are like the mridang and the pakhwaj playing. So, Vachikam Sarvavangmayam, Aharyam Chandrataradi. The Aharya Abhinaya, again, which means Veshabhusha, that is makeup, hairstyling, costume, jewelry. And if there is any property, like Bhim would hold a gada, or a Krishna would hold a bansuri, or Rama would hold dhanush and bana, like that. But for Shastriya Nritya, it is different. For Natak, it is different. In Natak, each character depicts one person. And so the Veshabhusha is according to that. But in our, like in Odissi, the Nritya from Orissa, Ekaharya, that is one dancer, one person dancing, depicting so many characters, so many episodes, so many stories, so many situations. But the costume does not change. The same costume, the same makeup, the same jewelry, everything. This is a major difference. And this is where the skill, the training, the talent of the dancer is seen. So Aharyam Chandra Taradi, of course, for Shiva, it is the moons and the stars. For us, we have to wear kapa, kundola, hara, the taito, balaya, all that we have to wear. Shiva doesn't have to wear that. But in short, tam numas satvikam shivam. So after the Angika, Vachika, Aharya, what is the sum total of Abhinaya? It is Satvik. Satvik word comes from Sattva, which means the essence. Essence, Arka. What is the essence? That which comes from within, which depicts everything in a nutshell. Like you take out the juice of a fruit. The fruit is Angika, but the juice is Sattvika. Like the perfume, thousands of roses, but a few drops of essence, the fragrance, that is Sattvika. So all the experiences of life, situations, stories, Puranas, one's own life, one's own experiences, all combined into a nutshell and then expressed through the art. Then that becomes Sattvika. And this is where all these abhinayas are dedicated to Shiva, Shiva Nataraja, and I would like to bring in Shakti. I always say Shiva without Shakti is Apurna, incomplete, and Shakti Devi is called Nateshwari. This is the title given to her by Lalita Sahasranamam and so many such other texts. So always think of Nataraja and Nateshwari. In Odisha, as it's called, I'm so used to Odisha, Jagannatha we just had the Rath Yatra and all. And you know that the yatra as a pilgrim, yatri, is incomplete if one does not do the darshan of Lingaraj, Lokanath. So Jagannatha and Lokanath. These two also go Harihara like Shiva Shakti. And this is again the beauty of Odisha, but also of dance, that all the energies are perfectly balanced. And these energies are in our own body. So the dancer, through these abhinayas, learns to balance the energies. Now, I want to quickly take you to the Aharya Abhinaya, particularly, because this is a visual art. With music, you can listen in your office, in your bathroom, in your car, in a restaurant, wherever. Even in the auditorium, you can sit with your eyes closed and listen. Not with dance. You cannot watch dance with eyes closed. You have to have your eyes open, your ears open, your mind open, and your heart open. So dance is the most demanding art. Now, therefore, the dancer's first impression as she walks on the stage. I'm saying she because now the Purusha Anga, the male dancers are also becoming very popular. I'm very happy about that. But I, being a female dancer, I'll talk about the she. The first impression in the Darshak, Rasika's mind is through the eyes. It's a Chakshusha Yagna. It's a Yagya, Chakshusha, through the Chakshu. And I learned from early on from my Bharatanatyam gurus in Bangalore, Professor U.S. Krishna Rao and Srimati Chandrabhaga Devi, his wife, that it is very, very important to do a critical survey of your face and body. Just because XYZ dancer did this, I must also do that. And that is where we go wrong. Look at your face. Do you have a long face, oval face, round face, square jaws, short forehead, big forehead, eyes small, big, large? So many things that are used in dance, particularly in Abhinaya, one has to see what suits. Now, I've seen very often that the same, small forehead, but they keep on wearing this alaka, making it even smaller. Alaka here, cutting through the hair, so there's no proper hairline. Then a small face and a taya is like a Qutub Minar, and the veeni jutting out. So the face is like that, and all this is like a God knows what. Short neck, long neck. Otherwise, here, 3, 4, 5 things laden with jewelry. Idhar, udhar. Here. Where is dance? Where is the dancer? And then, if you are short, you should not wear big borders. If you are tall, okay. But in any case, big borders are not for stage. Then booties and lines, horizontal, vertical, whatever, all these designs are a big no-no for stage. Colors which will bring out your complexion, which will bring out your eyes, where the light falls. So you have to find out what kind of lighting, what kind of colors will suit me. So these are the basic things which a dancer must understand. And I'm sorry to say that even till today, I don't see much improvement in that. You look at the Odissi dancers, they look like coming out of a conveyor belt. Same. And who wants to see a conveyor belt product? It's not a car. I'm saying this with some consciousness. I've heard so many remarks from the audience. I've heard so many remarks from friends. That Sonal, you were always different. We could always recognize you as something different, but we see others, they all look the same. Same kind of makeup, same kind of everything. I think dancers need to do a critical study and not be afraid to experiment what will look best. So that much Aharya Abhinaya, even about makeup, that the eyes, so much foundation you can, the audiences, we feel we can, remove half an inch, a layer of makeup from the dancer. So in short, all these four abhinayas are important, but the Aharya Abhinaya to me is the most important of all, because that you create with that the first impression. Right. Now I want to go to the Abhinaya part. So Abhinaya is usually in our Shastriya Nritya done to a poetic text. A poetic text. Be it from the Ramayana or Mahabharata, Puranas, whatever. The Salabega's Ahe Nila Shaila, or Dr. Sitakant Mahapatra's poems, Jara, Aradrushya, whatever. We have not yet experimented, thank God, with prose, because dance is lyrical, dance is a flow, and that is where poetry suits it best. With poetry comes the understanding of what you're going to do, the understanding of the poetry itself. Very easy to pick up Ashtapadi, easy to pick up. I mean, we have hundreds and thousands of poetic texts from which we can choose. There is no rule that you can only do that, right? That is where, too much liberty is not good, because you have to have the adhikara and know knowledge how to use it. So even if taking simple Odia songs like Molli Mala Devi Mu Samaku Manatosibi. What is Malli? Malli is the beautiful mogra, the small flower, juhi. How do you show Malli? I've seen people using the Alla Padma. I've seen dancers using Pushpa. But Malli is so delicate that actually Ardha Suchi, this would be the most appropriate. We have several Hastamudras, from Ardha Suchi, which is for the small bud or a small delicate flower like Parijata, to this, to this, to this Pushpaputta, Alla Padma. So a dancer has to understand Devi Mu Syamaku. Syama is always Krishna, so immediately holding the flute. Why must you hold the flute all the time? Why? Is Syama just standing with the flute all the time? He has nothing else to do? number one. Number two, that this is a young gopi who thinks that with the garland of malli that I make and offer it to him, he'll be very happy. I want to please him. Manatosibi. So Shyama is the color Shyama. How do you show Shyama? What a beautiful color of this handsome Krishna, handsome lover, handsome beloved. You can show Shyama in so many beautiful ways. With the tilaka, with the Mayura picture, with the Vanamala, with the Bhangi, like the Bhangi Chaha. Huh? What is that beautiful Kalyani Sabhinaya, that song? Um, দেখিব পরা আসরে প্রাণ সঙ্গিনী শ্রীবংশীধর বেশকু দেখিব পরা আসরে. So how Chahani, how Shyama is always looking tedha, Shyama Krishna never looks straight. He's always looking askance, giving those looks. So what I'm saying is that dancer must know the poetry, the nuances. Dancer must try to understand each word, the context of the word, the beauty of the word, the sound of the word, the rhythm of the word, and how that word sits in the entire pada, the entire line. Abhidha, Lakshana, Vyanjana, I need not say, I think all your darshakas would know. There are three levels of meanings. One is the actual, literal, another one is contextual, and the third one is the subtle, the inner meaning. So those are very, very important to understand. And with this, I would like to bring in the rasa theory, because Abhinaya is full of rasa. What is the destination of Abhinaya? Because it's Abhinaya. What is the destination or the purpose? The purpose is rasa nishpatti. The purpose is to give rasa svadana to the audience. The audience must taste rasa by your bhava. There should be rasa nishpatti, birth of rasa, and it should flow towards the audience by which they taste that rasa. That is the purpose of Abhinaya. Abhinaya is not to look very beautiful and make eyes on stage and big smile and all that. No. So, Ashtarasas were mentioned in our Shastras. The ninth rasa came much later, Shanta. It was not there originally. And I personally do not consider Shanta as a rasa, because rasa pravaha, it's a pravaha. Rasa, the cadences of rasa. Shanta is like a quiet, silent ocean. There is no ups and downs, so it cannot be a rasa. Shanta is a state of being, that's it. Anyway, so the Ashtarasas, very important for the dancer to know for Abhivyakti of Abhinaya. What are these rasas? Shrangara, Veera, Hasya, Karuna, Adbhuta, Raudra, Bhaya, Bhayanaka, Vibhatsa, and Hasya. So each of the rasa has its own Uddipana, Vyabhichari, Sthai bhavas. Dancer should know that. I don't say that you only do theory on stage, no. But a working understanding is very important. Why I say this is that Shrangara, Hasya, and Raudra, as it is, all the rasas are very delicate. You know, like you do this, you do Shrangara, all. Oh, Kuru Yadu Nandana, paint my breast and kiss me, and oh my God, what I've seen on stage is nothing less than obscene or vulgar. It can go into that realm. Where to stop? Control. What do you want to say? What do you want to depict? Who are you depicting? So there comes the Nayaka Nayika Bheda. In Abhinaya, you have to know which character you're depicting. What is the level of that character in that context? For example, Krishna can be a Shatha Nayaka. Shatha. Huh? Shatha. But when he comes to apologize to Radha, to beg forgiveness, he is the Dhira Lalita. I just want to share with you something that I loved for the Jagannath Yatra, a cartoon. But for the first time, I saw a beautiful cartoon. Here is Bauda after the return. Subhadra and Balabhadra are inside the temple and they're watching the drama where Lakshmi is the Khandita Nayika and poor Jagannatha is the Dhira Lalita Nayaka begging forgiveness. Here he has got a handi of Rasgulla with which he wants to appease. But look at the lovely cartoon. Look at Lakshmi. Look at her posture. Look at her Angika Vinaya. Look at her facial expression, Satvika Vinaya. Look at her Khandita Bhava, Naika Bhava. And look at Jagannath. And then look at Subhadra, the little sister, making all these funny gestures. And Balabhadra peeping. And that is the audience. So, the Nayaka Nayika Bheda is very important to understand. Radha is Uttama Nayika, Uttama, the best. In every situation, she is Uttama. Her reactions are also Uttama. She doesn't shout and say, Yahi Madhava, Yahi Keshava. No, you cannot do that. I've seen dancers, even Odissi dancers, doing all kinds of things. You are not a fisherwoman. Radha is not a fisherwoman. Radha is the Padmini. Radha is Lakshmi. Radha is Uttama. And Krishna can be Shatha, Dhira, Lalita. He can be various things. So, like that, I was saying that to bring out the Rasa Bhava for Rasa Nishpatti and to make your audience enjoy what you are communicating, conveying. You have to understand that Atishayokti, exaggeration, does not win the war. As they say, controlled bhava abhinaya, balanced energy, mukhabhinaya, angikabhinaya, and a thorough, deep understanding of what you're depicting. This is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, the abhivyakti, Karuna can become a comedy, and Raudra can become Bhayanaka. Also, Shringara can become Bibhatsa. All this has to be avoided because I will tell you why. Apart from the visual, what shall I say, there's a beautiful word, यानी इसको शास्त्रों ने दोष माना है. दोष, you understand? Dosha. It's not only a mistake, but a dosha is something for which you have to do prayashchitta. It's that severe. And the word used is dosha. So atishayokti becomes a dosha. And there have been instances in Kathakali, even in Bharatanatyam, where the gurus were very strict. And on stage, when they do Natwangam, You know, Bharatanatyam, they do Natuangam with the Manjira symbols. A guru was known to have thrown the symbol at the disciple. He couldn't stand it. We don't have such gurus today. But let me tell you, I've had enough jhapads from Guru Kelucharan Mahapatra in my 5 years that I learned from him. And I had no dosha. I'm very controlled. But if Guru feels in any way in your personal life, on your stage life, something that he doesn't like, yes, he does it. She does it. And the disciple must accept it with bowed head. Then only you are fit to be a disciple, not because you pay fees, not because you are somebody's daughter, somebody's whatever, not because you are beautiful, not because you are talented, because you have samarpana bhava towards the art and towards the Guru Parampara, and you have the humility to accept, yes, I may have made a mistake. I must pay more attention. Therefore, that dosha on stage or off stage has to be avoided. And why I say off stage? Because there are enough evidences, messages keep coming here, Nibin. There are enough evidences of dancers who on stage depict all kinds of things, and off stage they can become really terrible, jealous, cutting each other, saying bad things about each other. So my question through your madhyam is, what happens? Is the art just like this wonderful, beautiful Odissi stole that I'm draping, or is it something that is interwoven with your life? That you wear your art on stage and you take it off as soon as you're out of the stage. So this is something also pertaining to Abhinaya, that your Abhinaya should not remain on stage alone. The Abhivyakti in your real life should also be controlled and balanced. I would like to now go to the Manodharma. That's also a very beautiful word. Manodharma in music, in poetry, as in dance, where the dancer takes you with her in her mental, emotional landscape. And that landscape where she creates different bhavas. She shows you, as it were, her whole inner landscape. How Sita looked at Ram, how Ram looked at Sita. The first drishti, for example, what that would have been according to Valmiki, according to Tulsi, according to Odia poets, for example. Or I give you the absolutely heart-rending example of Sita Kanti Babu's poem, Dr. Sita Kant Mahapatra's poem, Jara. He permitted me to choreograph that, three of his poems. And he recited them for me on the Doordarshan, and I danced. And that has become a classic. I've danced it in Odisha also. Some dancers want to learn it. What is this Jara? Who is he? He is the hunter who shoots the last arrow, the arrow which pierces Sri Krishna's soul. Pada, Tale. Thinking it was the mouth the pink mouth of a deer. And as he goes closer to claim the shikar, he sees Krishna. And his lament through the words of Dr. Sitakanta Mahapatra, I think it's epic. That one poem is enough. If I was the President of India, I would give Bharat Ratna to Sitakanta Babu for this one poem. Jara. That lament is something that brings tears to people, whether you understand or not. Even my vocalist, his voice gets choked. My tears flow. Why? Because these are the words coming from the heart, from the innermost experience, a cosmic experience. He says, Kintu mu jani nahi. Who you are. Maybe I was Bali and you were Ram. Maybe. I do not wish to see your Vishwarupa like Akrura, like Arjuna. I do not want anything from you. At the end, at the end he says, He Shiva Sundara, Chhalana, that word comes very often, that you create this web, the Maya Jal, Chhalana, all through your Sri Krishna avatar, you have done that. I only beg of you, and you listen very carefully, and I'm giving this as my present to you because I respect and admire your effort. He says, I only want one thing from you, Hey Krishna. Janmo Janma, my Bana should give you mukti from your own Maya Jala. Can you imagine? I've never heard anything like that. But that is the artha, and that is all of us. That we want mukti, we want mukti. No, I don't want mukti. I want to be born and reborn again and again. And I want to see you again and again. And I want that with my words, I pierce you and you bless me. So this is the adhikara of the bhakta. So what I'm saying is that it's very important to pick poetry and drown yourself in the rasa of the poetry, and then you can share it with the audience. So that was one. Another one that, speaking about the exaggeration, I have another example. I have many, but this one. Our popular, famous Gita Govinda. So, the character of Sakhi is the Guru, Patha Pradarshika. She moves between Radha and Krishna, carrying messages, trying to bring them together. And now she is reporting to Radha how, in which condition she has seen Krishna. Because Radha is Manini. She says, I will not go to Krishna. I don't want to meet him. And Sakhi is telling Radha, listen, Sakhi, Sidati tava virahe vanamali. Sidati. Now that is such a beautiful Sanskrit word. It is not dukkha. It is like you put milk, you want to make payasam, kheer. You put milk on the tapa, agni, and on slow fire. On slow fire, it's simmering. So Krishna is simmering. He's simmering. that Vedana, that Pida. Sakhi si dati tava virahe, in your separation, Vanamali. The Vanamala, he is wearing all the flowers you can imagine, murjha rahe, are wilting away with that tapa. And then she goes on to say, Luthati dharani shayane, vilapati bahutava nama. Luthati meaning rolling. He is rolling in dust, calling out your name. Now, when you see a dancer actually rolling on stage, how horrible it can look. Can you imagine? I'm sure you can imagine. Yes? So, where Satvikabhinaya should happen, how you show with your eyes and with your Hasta Mudra, and there's so many options available. But to roll physically on stage, that's a Mahadosha. And I hope all those dancers who have done it should do Prayashchitta. All right. Then I would like to take you at the end that iconography is very important for a dancer to know, because we are still not dancing contemporary Suresh, Ramesh, Nita, Fita, Rita. No. We are still dancing mostly to our Puranic stories. So, what is the iconography? Iconography means chinha. If you want to recognize Vishnu, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma has to be there. Garuda Vahana. If it is Parvati, Parvati cannot become Lakshmi with the two lotuses. Lakshmi cannot become Saraswati with the Veena and her Hamsa. Parvati has the lion. What does Kartikeya hold? He holds Bhala, Shakti, veil. And his Vahana is the Mayura. Well, who's Ganesh? Of course, he's easily recognizable with the Naganana, Gajanana, and Chuha, his mount. So, what does Ganesh hold? What does Ganesh hold? Pasha, Ankusha, Modaka. Everything has a meaning. Why Shankha? Why Chakra? Why Damaru? Why Agni in Shiva's hands? So iconography is important as the relationships also. If today in Delhi you ask any, not South Indian, but any Delhi-based dancer, what is name of wife of Shiva? Uh, Guruji, Lakshmi. Oh my God. Please, vamos, get lost. You know why I'm saying this? That maybe in Orissa it's different. But with increased reliance on Google, with increased reliance on YouTube, social media, and increased ignorance of gurus and shishyas alike, iconography, the full iconography and the significance, the meaning, and where to use what is being lost. And I think it's very important for Shastriya Nritya, Nrityangana, Nrityakar to know that. Music is a must, you must know music. Laya Talashrita Nritya, Bhavashrita Nrityam Abhinayam. The music, the chanda, the raga. Lot of dancers don't know. They say Tari Jhem Pallavi. Yeah, Tari Jhem is the Ukkuta. Which raga? They don't know. Tajam, Tajam. What Tajam, Tajam? So, it is my absolute belief that it is the most difficult art, the Indian classical Shastriya Nritya, in which Abhinaya forms the prana, the soul the soul, prana. And my last comment will be almost the last, that unfortunately, in the absence of Yogya Gurus, perhaps, in the absence of dedication, in the absence of that tapasya, that sadhana, and in the mad rush to become famous, to become known, to become popular, to get programs, to get tours, to get grants, groups come together, group choreographies, even for Abhinaya. I have seen 12 dancers, 6 boys and 6 girls of a famous institution in Bhubaneswar dance Ashtapadi together. And these are not kids, these are grown up dancers. What is this if not travesty? Then let us not Saugandh Lena, Jagannath Swami, Nayana Pathagami Bhavatume, all that is only a dikhava, it's a banavat, it's a natak. We don't want that. Abhinaya is the soul of dance. Without that, there's a USP, unique.
Selling proposition.
I don't want selling. I will say unique speaking point. You speak to the world. You speak to each other. Unique speaking point. USP. That is Abhinaya. And Abhinaya is not meant for a mob, for a crowd, for a group. Abhinaya in Shastriya Ekaharya Nritya is for one person. And that is where Manodharma. At that point on stage, what I'm thinking, how I want to depict, how it comes out of me, that situation, the other one doesn't know. It's a one person. So how can the same thing be danced by more than one person? Abhinaya. Nritya you can do, yes, not Abhinaya. So Abhivyakti of Abhinaya is a maha dangerous. It's like walking on the edge of the sword, and not many today are willing to take that road. I would pray, I hope, I trust, I pray. I pray to Nateshwari, Nataraj, that may we have more grit, more strength, more tapasya in our lives, so that our traditions remain akshunna, akhanda, and therefore perennial, shashvat, sanatan. Jai Jagannath again, Jai Lokanatha, Jai Nataraj, Jai Nateshwari, Jai Nritya Parampara, Jai Gurubhyo Namah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. I'll just take 2 minutes of yours just to sum up this. It is very difficult on my part to sum up, but I'll just try, and then we'll have a formal vote of thanks. Just 5 minutes will take more from. This has been an absolutely scintillating experience to listen to a wonderful deliberation, and it has been an enlightenment in the true sense of the word. And as Tagore says that অন্ধকারের উৎস হতে উৎসারিত আলো সকল দুঃখ সুখ মাঝে জাগ্রত সেই ভালো সেই তো তোমার আলো. Like that, it seemed that your lecture, ma'am, has kindled a light in every mind of the artist. When you say about Mangalacharan, the lecture itself, listening to it, was a Mangalacharan. You have spoken about the 4 types of acting, the various tenets of the Natya Shastra, the mind, psyche, and the body. Your lecture has encompassed not only anthropology of the body, but also a social semiotic analysis of what performances mean to the society. You have touched a lot of points, madam, in this lecture, each of which can constitute an individual lecture by itself. when you say about Ashtapadi, when you speak about the rasa, when you speak about the concepts which are new to us, like the Dhira Lalita, it compels us to think about creating a theater in an entirely new way. And I'm sure that the theater scenario of India, which is highly influenced by the European proscenium theater, will be compelled to think to return to the Indian style of theater after listening to your lecture. Ma'am, I can only say instantly that this was a lecture like no other. I have no words to thank you on behalf of Nandanik, and I would like to reveal here that we had heard you speaking on a very important topic of what will happen to the artists due to this COVID-19 situation when you were speaking as a panelist in the IGNCA webinar. And myself and Monideepa and many others of our theatre group were listening to you that day. And basically, it was that day after listening to you that we thought that we must invite you to deliver our lecture. Because in this troubled time, you are the deity, you are the legend who can show us a ray of hope. When almost all artistic deliberations and discourses are coming to an halt, blessed with modern technology and your willingness to enlighten the new generation artists like us, we have been able to complete this wonderful, wonderful deliberation. And
I
I
hope you,
promise,
I hope you noticed Jagannath Balabhadra Subhadra pendant I wore for you.
right, ma'am.
Can you see?
Yeah, yes, we can
Yes,
see.
ma'am.
Ma'am, we promise that we will take this the lecture to all parts of India, not only Odisha. And this is recorded today, but it will be broadcasted over the social media. We will also transcribe your lecture and we'll convert it into a booklet so that it may be used by generations of artists to come. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Monideepa to offer the formal vote of thanks.
थैंक यू सौरभ गुप्ता जी, थैंक यू मैम। नांदनिक के तरफ से मैं मोनिदीपा गुप्ता और पूरा ओडिशा के थिएटर कम्युनिटी के तरफ से आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और थैंक यू हमारे ग्रुप की तरफ से क्योंकि आप आए, थैंक यू। और मैं थैंक यू देना चाहती हूँ बिपिन बालन जी को भी, वो पूरा प्रोग्राम हमारे साथ थोड़ा कम्युनिकेट किए, उनका हेल्प आया और आपके साथ हमारा ये जोक स्थापन हुआ, इसके लिए थैंक यू।
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
और मैम आपका आशीर्वाद हमारे साथ सदा बना रहे।
मेरी शुभकामना आपके साथ है, बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छा लगा, इसलिए मैंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया तुरंत। और आप
Thank
करते
you.
रहें, आगे करते रहें, मैं आपके साथ हमेशा हूँ। भगवती 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 भगवती। थैंक यू, थैंक यू,
थैंक यू।
Thank you. Wish you a very good,
Thank-
healthy life ahead, ma'am.
यस, ऑल ऑफ अस।
ओके, आज मैं इधर आज का प्रोग्राम इधर में स्टॉप करती हूँ।
हाँ जी, ओके, थैंक यू,
Thank you very much.